An AEW star is expected to leave the company for WWE. Seth Rollins is apparently dealing with chronic injury issues, and WWE have re-signed a top champion to a multi-year deal. Stay tuned for all the deets. There's a lot of speculation across the wrestling world now that we have two major promotions. There's a lot of kind of names floating around where it's like, you know, fans do it, fans speculate like, oh, this match would be great. I'd love to see this person in that promotion or whatever. But it apparently runs through to like a corporate level. Obviously, each company's looking at talents that maybe aren't being utilized in the way that they would and going, hey, we could get something out of this person. And this is apparently the case for Ricky Starks. Now, the Wrestling Observer newsletter has reported that the expectation within the industry is that Ricky Starks is going to be leaving AEW when his contract expires to join WWE. It's currently unknown how long he has left on his contract with All Elite Wrestling, but he's not signed any new deals with the company as of yet. This comes after it was reported this week that WWE is interested in him, and the belief backstage in AEW is apparently that Starks really wants to go to WWE. He hasn't been seen on AEW TV since March 2024. When he and Big Bill lost a top flight in a match that Starks suffered an injury in, and it caused the result of it to be changed, and it was a bit weird.
Yeah, they had to change it on the fly there because of an injury, and he has recovered from that. He is just sitting at home at the moment. He's not being used.
The indicator that somebody's not on TV would usually be a kind of like, okay, well, it sort of looks like this is it, right? You wouldn't be using somebody on TV unless you were going to try and like drop them out and stuff and lower their value in the old-fashioned
old ways,
but like it seems that like, you know, if you're not being utilized, then maybe that is a bit of an indicator. But at the same time, it could be that AEW are kind of trying to reach some form of agreement with him, giving him some more time, and at the same time, they have a lot of talent and only so much TV time. So we have unfortunately seen people kind of fall to the wayside a bit, and then they just pop up 4 months later and it's like, oh yeah.
I think that's what it comes down to, is the fact of how big their roster is, and comes down to how much TV time. And Ricky Starks is someone who I don't feel has made a secret that he would like to either have more time on TV or go to WWE. He's been backstage at WWE shows, namely Royal Rumble, where he was backstage seen with Cody Rhodes. I think it's only a matter of time before we see him in WWE. I think he's currently, as of speaking right now, a better fit for WWE because of how stacked that AEW roster is. They've now got a fairly set core rotation of roster that you're guaranteed to see. Whereas I think Ricky Starks can come in similarly to the Lucha Bros that there's been discussions about this week.
Get him to NXT.
Well, I think he would cut through NXT fairly quickly and be one of those staple names on that upper mid card on the main roster. Yeah,
I think he's got all the potential to be a major breakout star, because we've already seen him be a breakout star. And I think with, you know, WWE on the hot streak it's on right now, and creative does seem to be on the up for the first time in decades. So it's like, you know, it could be potentially a match made in heaven there, right?
He has been a fantastic asset for AEW. Just having said that, he's had some incredible matches there. He seemed like he was on the cusp of breaking through at that main event scene.
He's incredibly popular as well. Whenever he does anything, I'm just seeing posts constantly about him, and so it's just like he's somebody people really care about. And I think WWE to get him would be a net gain in terms of perhaps bringing across some of his fans that are very lapsed WWE fans that are maybe still quite anti-WWE. So
perhaps
we'll have to see. But keeping it with WWE here, a serious report here from the Wrestling Observer once again. Seth Rollins has apparently been dealing with a chronic injury for a while, and he's going to be taking time off to recover. His injury issue is said to be chronic, but not at the point to getting flagged, and that he'll be out for a while, which is why Bronson Reed attacked him on Raw in the past week. Hopefully, it's nothing major. Hopefully, it's something that they said it's not at a point where it can be sort of flagged. So it's kind of, I guess, more preventative, more precautionary to just give him some time. But at the same time, whatever it is, hopefully it can be addressed and hopefully it can be fixed so he doesn't have to deal with a chronic injury, because a chronic injury has got to suck.
Oh, for sure.
Like just constantly flaring up, having to deal with it over and over again, and it just compounds over time, right?
It seems like it's a case if he's maybe come back from injury a little bit too soon, probably to help, I don't want to say the word legitimize it, but legitimize Damian Priest's title reign. Having Seth Rollins back for that little bit gave him a big victory over the former champion, or one of the former champions. Having him back on TV allowed that the heat on Drew and Punk to continue and to rise. Maybe some people are, a bit iffy on his use at SummerSlam in that match.
His ref cam for me was great.
Ref cam was good stuff.
Him tying his shoes, having an hour with Punk.
Yeah, just having it was good fun for sure. Yeah. And it just a case of, I'm glad he didn't wrestle because clearly he's been wrestling on injuries at WrestleMania. He worked, I think it was a total of 50 odd minutes at WrestleMania on a torn meniscus.
Some people will look at it and kind of go, well, that's just wrestling. People work hurt, but it's like, it's any way you can limit that and still have him out there, like in a refereeing capacity. Like, he's obviously an incredibly gifted speaker, but I think to just sort of, if they've written him off, it just means he can just relax, right?
Take
You've got
time,
a young
Seth.
family, like on the go. Like, it's like, come on.
Come back at Rumble once you're healed, and you'll get a big pop. Honestly, it works that way.
Well, we got a bit of a crazy matchup going on the other side of the fence.
We do indeed. So All Elite Wrestling's Rampage was last night, and Hangman Page has been a bit of a knobber recently. That's a way to put it.
Just a little bit. I liked him better when he was drinking.
When he was drinking and having a good time, being all sad and that.
Just walking in and just sort of going, I'll have that beer from somebody in the crowd. Yeah.
Whereas now he's a bit angry, particularly at Jeff Jarrett, who he's been attacking. He attacked, of course, this past week after Dynamite. He has indeed. Jay Lethal, though, will not stand for this aggression towards his best friend, Jeff Jarrett, and has said that he's challenged him to a match. He's challenged Hangman Page to a match on Dynamite this coming week, and it has been confirmed. It's very likely going to be a setup for a future Jarrett versus Hangman Page match, likely at Wembley.
I can hear Tom Campbell vibrating
He's
right
just
now
shaking.
with joy, just like it's going to be fun.
Yeah, for sure. I'm excited to see it, and I think Jay Lethal Hangman, they'll put on a pretty great match at Dynamite.
They're going to be able to hang, so it should be a great match. But taking it back to WWE right now, we got some future contenders, we've got some future contenders tag matches. But the Street Profits defeated A-Town Down Under last night to advance to next week's number one contenders match, where they'll face former champions DIY, who were able to defeat Pretty Deadly on SmackDown last night as well.
I can't tell who's going to win. Maybe Street Profits just to give it a fresh match. Either way, they're going to lose to the Bloodline.
Yeah, you can't really take it off the Bloodline this early, can you? No. Unless they want to use the excuse of, Jacob's injured. But then you've still got Tongaloa there. Yeah. And he can prove everybody wrong.
Yep.
He can prove everybody wrong. I believe in you, Tongaloa. Yep. But ultimately, DIY could go back
I think it's a case of Street Profits are so popular. I think if it's going to happen in Berlin, I think Street Profits is the way to go. If they decide to do it on a random SmackDown, not in Europe, I think it'll be DIY, but it'll be a little bit more competitive than their last match, where it was pretty much Bloodline victory.
But we got also a number one contender named for the US title. So Santos Escobar was named as number one contender for LA Knight's United States Championship after he beat Andrade with a little bit of an assist from Carmelo Hayes. Prior to the match, new US champion Knight had come out to the ring to celebrate his recent victory over Logan Paul at SummerSlam, with Escobar interrupting him, calling Knight's victory a fleeting moment and opening an opening act for his own title reign. Just sort of opening up this little bit between them where they can go and dance, go make magic.
I really like the bit where Escobar was like, Escobar C, and it was like, he's done LA Knight's thing. I quite enjoyed it.
I've trademarked it. It's mine.
It's mine. You can't
South of the border, you're not allowed to do it.
I think great match. I think great first title defense for LA Knight against Escobar. And I think it's one that you could probably lead to have a series of matches, and maybe in the future that belt goes to Escobar.
Well, you've got the added benefit of outside interference probably playing a major factor in a lot of this, so they can sort of plague Knight for a while. And you're right, I think they can put on a nice little series of matches. I think they can differ them up nicely, and I think that eventually when you get that kind of one-on-one without any interruption, it's going to be a barn burner.
Oh yeah, people are going to be. LA Knight's still over.
You need big matches to cement it, and then he's going to move on to the next big cementing moment for him. But on the point of LA Knight, we've got some news regarding his contract, don't we?
Do indeed. Fightful Select has reported yesterday that LA Knight and WWE have restructured and extended his WWE contract for a large money increase and will be remaining with the company for multiple years. This is not a surprise. LA Knight is undisputably one of their top stars right now.
yeah.
He goes into any arena and everyone is chanting his name, shouting, getting insane pops.
He's in the Slim Jim adverts and he's just sat there in the board meeting going, look, do you really want to fire me?
Yeah.
Like, you're going to have to reshoot all those adverts, Slim Jim, come on.
He's absolutely on fire right now. Definitely, I'm impressed that he's maintained how over he is for such a long time.
There was a point, right? I remember there was a point where it's like, if he doesn't win it here, the wheels could come off.
Yeah.
But he's just went, no, they're never going to come off. And it just kept going. And I was like, all right, I've never really seen this level of longevity, and all power to him. The guy is like an absolute charisma machine. So,
and clearly WWE has seen that as well by signing him.
Interact with Hendry.
Oh, that would be a fun one.
I want to see that, like with LA Knight as a character and Joe Hendry's current character.
If it's going to happen, I'm thinking Rumble.
Yeah.
I think Royal Rumble we'll see there. But yeah, he will. Of course, LA Knight will be there. He's got those multiple years on his contract.
Yeah, which is great for the company. Yeah. Obviously, signing everybody down like that, like signing LA Knight especially, is just a massive get. He's somebody that would definitely clean up at the competition, I believe.
Yeah.
So it makes sense. Right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But anyway, that's it for your second dose of lovely bumper weekend wrestling news. We may be back later on if anything drastic breaks, but if not, stick with us. We've got plenty of content coming out over the weekend, and also just plenty of content on the channel.
Yeah, go check it out. It's really good.
Video like underneath right now is class. It's like there. I think it's like there. Go on, click
it's
on
right
it.
there.
Yeah,
go on.
Ooh,
hit the bell.
Lovely.
Hit the bell.
Hit the bell as well.
Subscribe.
Yeah, please. Yeah.
Comment.
And sub. Yeah,
like.
comment. We might even like your comment.
Follow us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do it.